preparing. Okay, great. I think we're good. Okay, so we are good to start. Erin, as the chair, you are supposed to be the meeting facilitator. Do you feel prepared to do that, or do you want me to push this thing along?
Well, that's fine. Can you hear me?
Hardly.
All right, hold on a second. How about now?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. Yes, I am prepared.
Okay, so we can get started. We have quorum. We can get started then. Do we? We might want to just do like a quick roll call.
All right, let's do a quick roll call, everybody. Erin Moore, chair, is here.
This is Rosie Love, vice chair.
Valerie Alexander Mosley, commissioner.
Natisha Alexander, commissioner.
Shelley, commissioner.
Hi, Shelley Evers, commissioner.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, just hang on, Erin. Let me just introduce myself and have Laura do it as well. So I'm Angelica Kang. I am the Chief Diversity Officer for the City of Albany and also the Executive Director of the Commission.
Hi, everyone. Laura Golfo, Assistant Corp Counsel for the City of Albany, acting as legal counsel to the Commission on Human Rights.
I see that the minutes from our last meeting has gone out, and I wanted to approve those minutes. Anybody second that?
Second that.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second that, all right. So I'm just looking at going down the agenda, trying to get it where I can see it all together. So item 2 was the introduction of the new commissioners. If you were at the previous meeting, which I couldn't make it, I apologize. I wanted to say hello and I don't know if you want to kind of say a little bit about ourselves going in here.
Sorry, hit the wrong thing. I'll start. I'm Shelley. I am an attorney. I live in Uptown Albany. I teach for Johns Hopkins, and I'm excited to be here. I'm the head of the inaugural Albany March for Science as well. That's it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Finding out. All right.
I'm Celia Evers. I'm a nurse for Albany County Health Department, and I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone and seeing what comes out of all this. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for choosing to be on with us. So well, I guess we can all go around and sort of introduce ourselves. So my name is Erin Moore. I'm the chair here for the commission. I am a local performer, but I also am an anti-racism and diversity workshop facilitator as well.
Okay, my name is Rosie Love and I'm the vice chair. This is my second term on the commission and it's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Anybody else want to?
Hi, Natisha Alexander. I've been a commissioner a little over a year, and I'm welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here to join.
Hi, I'm Valerie Alexander Mosley. I've been a commissioner now for 4 years. Welcome aboard.
Right. So I want to well, looking at messages pop up at the same time. Excuse me. So the next item here on our agenda is the annual human rights recognition reception. And I know well, I don't know if last meeting we got to this, but when I did, I couldn't make it to. But I know we were talking. Oh, Tisha, did you have something you want to? You can go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Erin. Maybe I missed it, but there is a small correction that I have to the minutes. I don't know if I missed that portion, but as much as I appreciate the vote of confidence, there's no Esquire behind my name.
There's somebody put an Esquire behind your name.
Yeah, on the minutes where it says present behind my name, it says Esquire. It's a minor change, but I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to make that amendment, right, Laura?
Yes. I think what we can do is, that was very like a clear change, that as long as it's amended, we can say here that we vote to approve the changes with that amendment, and we can make that after and have that as a record.
Mhm.
So you can still vote on it, and just with that clear distinction that the minutes will be approved once the Esquire is removed.
Okay, so it wasn't actually quite clear to me before if we successfully voted on it. We had a motion, but I wasn't sure if it was seconded, so we may as well just go back a little bit. What needs to happen is we need to make a motion to approve the minutes with the change of removing the Esquire after Natisha's name. And then we will need somebody to second it, and then we will need everybody to vote either yes or no for that motion. That would be the procedure here.
I move that we amend the minutes to remove the Esquire from behind my name
And approve those minutes.
and approve those minutes.
May I add in a brief addition to the motion? That we approve it along with any other minor editorial issues that don't directly impact the intent of the summary of the minutes.
Sure, yeah, sure, yes, okay.
Yep.
So we can,
So I move that we approve the minutes with the amendment, the minor amendment that I suggested, as well as any other minor amendments that does not impact the intent of the minutes.
okay, thank you. Can somebody second the motion?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so looks like it's passed unanimously, so the minutes have now been approved. Okay, so we can go back to item 3. Erin, you were just discussing the human rights recognition reception. And just FYI, last month, the meeting did not happen because we did not have quorum, so nothing has happened between our last August or, I'm sorry, I don't even know which meeting, the last meeting it is that we had and now.
All right, yeah, so, and what that is for folks just joining us today, so that's a sort of reception that the city puts on, where we sort of put a focus or shine a light on somebody in the community of Albany that we feel, stands out, that helps the community in certain ways. What we planned last year, well, before the summer, was we were going to each of us bring our nominations in to our next meeting, meaning sort of this fall of this year, and we would vote on those nominations of who we wanted to give our recognition to. And I know, and the judge, correct me if I'm wrong, there wasn't really sort of a rule or guideline of how many people we can choose to sort of shine a light on or recognize for their duty and their community service in the city of Albany as well. So we were going to use this meeting to, well, the first meeting of this year to sort of vote and solidify who we were choosing from our nominations. Did anybody have their does everybody have their nominations?
Tom sent me his. I have to pull them up. I can't recall if he had sent them to me alone or if he had sent it to everybody. But otherwise, I don't think I've received any other nominations.
Well, I guess let's list them off now, and then we'll have them in the minutes at least. Anybody like to go first? Their nominations? I can't. If you don't. So I nominated, I believe I kind of mentioned these names before, but I nominated two people for the reception. One was Paul Hackett Kane of the Red Bookshelf, and the second one was Jamila Anderson. So Paul Hackett Kane and Jamila Anderson.
Did you prepare like the sentence, like we had asked for a couple sentences explaining your nomination?
Sure. Yep, I did. So I picked and Kate, I see it. I can write those names out for you too, just if that would help. But so yes, I did prepare. So I chose Paul Hackett King just for his ongoing work in the city of Albany, pushing reading programs, his superhero program that he does with many of the schools here in Albany, the elementary schools and middle schools here in Albany, for his work with the I'm trying to think of the Albany City youth employment development work that he's done, and his activism work as well. I chose Jamila Anderson for her activism work in the city of Albany, in the community, for her healing work that she's done in the community, also for her, I want to make sure for her free food fridge program that she's done here in the city of Albany. That is where she has established refrigerators in different parts of the city of Albany and filled it with food, healthy, organic produce, milk, things of that nature, and is giving it, allowing access to it for the people of Albany who has needed. So those were my two nominations, and my sort of spiel on those two.
Okay, and Erin, those are different than the nominations you had provided in May. So this is your updated nomination?
Oh yeah, I thought I'll have that to be my updated nomination.
Okay.
I thought I said those.
And unfortunately, my email is fritzing out on me right now, so I cannot find Tom's nomination. But it's in the minutes from the last meeting, I believe. So if somebody could look that up, because my computer is freaking out, we could get the name of who he nominated.
I'll look for that, and somebody else can give their nominations if they like.
So I nominated Tabitha Wilson and She is she's originally from the city of Albany. She serves on many nonprofits. Currently an Albany resident, of course, but a few of the nonprofits she sits on is A Village Incorporated, where she sits as the board chair. She's also the president. Actually, she also sits on the Capital District New Leaders Council, which is a program to basically instill leadership skills for city residents who have already shown high potential for leadership. To cultivate that even further. She also sits on the board and is a very active member of the Grand Street Community Arts organization. And she also was elected a few years ago, I think back in 2017, to fill a vacancy on the Albany City School Board. And she, to this day, she continues to maintain that very seat. And so she's very, very active within the community. She currently works at the New York State Office of Temporary Disability Assistance, which oversees the provision of state services for people who are low income. So definitely very well-rounded human being, and definitely gives back to the community.
Okay, and Rosie, this is also, okay, and you said it's Tabitha Wilson, is that the name?
Correct.
Of A Village, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that I got that.
And I guess for the record, to close the loop, when I had nominated the nominee that I nominated last meeting, or the meeting before last, I think was determined that you already received an award, correct? A Village. So I just want to close the loop and say that, should I be withdrawing that nomination, or?
Well, A Village, I mean, Tabitha Wilson is of A Village. And so I think what had been decided was that because multiple people had nominated A Village, we were kind of combining it.
Okay.
But if you want to nominate A Village as the entity, certainly you can, a separate.
No, I don't want to muddy the waters any more than they already are. So we'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay. So that was everybody's. Celia and Kate, I know that it's kind of on the spot, but if you want to throw in a name here, we can do that, and then we can do a vote on who. I think we had decided that we were doing 2 awardees, so we can do a vote on the 2 or the 1. I mean, it's up to the commission, but if you guys want to throw anybody out there with some justification, you certainly can. You don't have to, but if there's anybody in mind.
Kate, you're muted if you're talking.
Sorry about that. I don't have anybody, but in the previous minutes from May 20th, it looks like the vote was unanimously to approve all nominees at 2021 ceremony, and then to return to honoring 3 maximum at future ceremonies.
Great, thank you, Kate. Yeah, so all the nominees of the 2021 ceremony. Okay, so then that's great. Unless Celia, do you have anybody that you want to add? Then that would mean Paul Hackett Collins, Jamela Anderson, and then Tabitha Wilson of A Village would be all awardees. But
I agree. I don't have anyone, but I'm good with the ones that were that are nominees.
Okay, great, thank you. So then that issue is settled. I don't think we need to vote on it since it was previously voted that we'd be awarding everything. So that, sorry, muted myself for some reason. Okay, so then that has been determined, and I guess I can work on seeing if the city is going to finance any type of small award for them. And I think that closes out that item on the agenda. And Erin, it's back to you.
I had to close it out. And I guess something I wanted to add, I see here that we have a event planning details. Did we want to make a committee if one wasn't already formed? If it was, I do apologize. But if it's not, we want to make a committee that focuses on the event planning for the the planning for the event?
Yeah, you could vote to make an ad hoc subcommittee for the purpose of planning this award ceremony. I seem to recall the last time we spoke about it, I think we had more of a positive outlook on COVID, and I think we're back to probably considering a virtual, considering that we all chose a virtual format for this meeting. My presumption is that we're not really looking to do an in-person reception. So, but certainly that's something that the committee would be able to make a determination on. So if you want to create that subcommittee, you certainly can. You just have to make the motion second and vote on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to make the motion for a subcommittee.
A second.
And Erin, when you're making that motion, and I know it's been seconded, but could you just, for the record, make sure that it's reflected the actual purpose of the subcommittee? I know we kind of just had discussion, but if you could just say what the purpose is, and then, yeah.
So yeah, it would be a subcommittee that focuses, that their focus would be planning the recognition reception. So I'll put subcommittee planning that event.
Okay, great. So that'll be reflected in the minutes then. Okay, thank you.
So voting on it, all those in favor?
Quick question. Can we open the floor for conversation before we vote on it?
Sure. Sure, yeah, I think that's good.
Yes, absolutely. That's part of the rules. I couldn't get myself unmuted. So yes, you can do that.
Erin, is there anything in particular, like specific roles that you had in mind so that folks, when they're
Sure. Yeah, if we're planning for it to be online, you know, I guess if, you know, I think if anything, like an official, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like create like an official invite, even though it's online, you know, to our honorees, saying, you know, you have been selected as for your work and diligence and your activism and volunteerism out in the city of Albany, to reception, to our online or virtual reception. I think that would be, you know, something that would be nice, you know, even though it's virtual, but I think it would still be like something that, you know, make people feel better to be receiving. Maybe reach out to certain people that we want to have speak. Maybe somebody reach out to the mayor to have speak at this online event. Anybody else, you know, opening the floor to anybody else that may have an idea or
the only thing else I can think of is maybe having someone work on thinking of like specific gift ideas, like whether we want to do a certificate or we want to do a plaque, or, you know, in addition to that, do we want to give like a little gift basket or something, you know, something to make it nice and really show appreciate them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, yeah, that's, thank you. Anybody want to serve on a committee such as this one?
Sorry, I keep on hitting the wrong button. I teach online, so I'm pretty used to setting up events online. If anyone else is interested, I'd like to work on it with them.
Anybody else?
Erin, this is Valerie. I'm not, I'm here right now at this moment, I can't like agree to like do a lot of things. I'm going through some sickness with my mom, and I have a lot of appointments and out of town appointments. So I don't want to agree to help someone and then I'm not there to help them right now. This is not the really good time for me.
Sure. No, I appreciate you letting us know that, Valerie, and letting you know that you're in our thoughts and prayers going through that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if Kate, well, I guess I'm trying to think of my own schedule right now. Yeah, Kate, I can help you out with that. Okay.
Sounds good. I mean, if you wanted to do the sort of asynchronous stuff, like the plaque and award stuff, as I said, I'm used to the online content stuff. So if you want to divide it like that.
Cool. And then so I can email you and we can pick a separate time and we can meet and talk.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah, bring up the minutes again.
Chair Moore, are you comfortable moving forward with the vote now?
Yes, I am.
You can set us up.
Okay, so all those who agreed to have the subcommittee dedicated and focused on event planning for the reception, say aye.
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 So I believe that is approved. All right, I motion to move to the fourth item on the agenda here, the equity agenda and annual report with City Hall updates.
So I submitted the request for an extension of the deadline to the end of the year to the Common Council couple weeks ago. The Common Council has not gotten to it yet. The deadline, the September 21st deadline has passed. And so at this point, especially because last month we didn't have quorum, we were a bit at a standstill. So the Common Council spoke to their council and it seems like it should not be that big of an issue. So we can presume that deadline has been extended. I'm going to presume that deadline has been extended since we didn't hear any negative feedback on that. But until we get official word, we should just continue moving forward with doing our due diligence to get this report done, which means the next step is the data request. I can start requesting data that we received last year. I need you guys to understand that this data that comes in from the department comes in all different shapes and forms and templates, and then it needs to be pretty much processed by either myself or some other staff member at City Hall. So it does take some time to get everything to a place where it is universal enough for everybody to understand. So that data request is going to go out, and then if the subcommittee has anything else in addition to what will be requested, then that can be made. But that's pretty much where we're at right now. And once everything comes in, I'm probably going to give the departments a deadline of, like the end of October, so that we can start putting everything together, drafting it, and then submitting it by the end of the year.
So Angelica, the commission cannot work on our portion of the report until we have data. We can't begin to evaluate.
Yeah, I understand that, which is why the data request is going out. And then once that data comes in from the department, we're going to draft that report, and then the draft will be sent to you guys.
So has the data been requested already? Because we've been requesting it for a couple of months at this point.
It hasn't been requested yet because of the priorities of the city, of everything that's been going on. It's been really difficult to get the attention that we've been needing to push that out. And so we are at that point though, where of the timeline, I can put that out. And so unfortunately it hasn't gone out yet. And
No, I mean, we understand that things happen, and we certainly understand that within city-run government that there are times when other things take priority. However, in our role as commissioners, we also want to make sure that we do our due diligence in making sure that we do the best that we can to get a report out that it reflects that we really at least try to do the best that we could. So I mean, I really want to see if it's possible that we have at least 2 months to put together a report that makes sense from the time that we get the data until the time that the report is actually due, right? Because it's going to take a few weeks to write it, review it, edit it, and then to get a final draft over to the city so that you can review it before we submit the final draft over to Common Council.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I'm going to do what I can to get this report out to you guys as soon as possible.
And I understand that we're working on a deadline of 12/31, but can we also put a special request in that the commissioners will have 2 months, regardless of what the date is that is agreed upon with the council, to prepare this report?
I mean, I can give you what I get with 2 months before the December 31st, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be everything you want because I'm going to be having to track down departments and getting them to get this data to me by then. It's really contingent upon if I get that information from them and if we can get this drafted on time. I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to do what I can to get this draft to you as soon as possible, but I cannot commit to 2 months right now because we are short-staffed and I am one person in this office with a lot of other things to do, and I'm trying my best here.
And we understand it and hear you. I think for our end too, understanding what's going on in the city and having the city and understanding that too as well. And we appreciate what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's just like on our end too, I think we're kind of been putting a little bit of a bind ourselves, knowing that we're having to wait for that information and put that information out. I think we just want to stress that to them as much as we can. Well, if this is what you want and how you want it, this is the time and fashion that we need to have it.
I understand that.
And in addition to that, Angelica, is there a way that we can come up with some kind of template? Because you said that you will get this information, this data in all different various formats. Is there any way that we can come up with a template so that they give it to us in a format that is easier for you to read it and put the information together so that we can get the information in a timely manner?
Yes, I would recommend that we do that for next year. I think the reality of our timeline right now is that it would take too long to come up with that template. I think we have to kind of look to ourselves too and realize that, we need quorum at these meetings. We've struggled with that a lot over the past year. And so whenever there's not quorum, we miss a month. And then there's a month of pause there. So I just don't think that we have the time to come up with a template right now unless somebody can figure that out in the next 48 hours, which I don't want to put that kind of time pressure on anybody. But I do think that would be a really, really good idea for next year. The Common Council and the city administrative services, we all understand that this is a brand new report. This is only the second time we've done it. There's going to be a lot of hiccups. There's going to be a lot of trial and error with getting this thing right. The statute, the way that it was written, is very broad. It doesn't specify exactly what this report's supposed to look like. So we are just kind of working from scratch.
Okay. I think I guess we just have to move forward and see where we end up. I just wanted to briefly though, in our request, we didn't give a specific template, but we did give a framework in terms of how we would like to see the data, in terms of wanting to see it in full year aggregate form, if possible. And so what that would mean for us is that the data would, if we're creating a report for this year, the data would begin in January of 2020 and then end in December of 2020. So this is it's not concurrent data that we're asking for. We're asking for the previous year so that we can appropriately evaluate the previous year's successes and challenges. But certainly we can work next year towards coming up with a more formalized template that also includes budgetary considerations, data for all of the 7 key indicators that we're collecting on, the specific types of reports that we're looking for, because we don't exactly know what to ask for because we don't know what reports the city has available. So I think that might be helpful as well, but everything is outlined in the email that we sent, and we can move to add the email to our minutes just for reference purposes in terms of what's been requested already. And I guess we'll just take it from there though, but Angelica, we have faith that, you know, things will move along quickly and that you're doing your best. So we're not trying to attack you. We just need this information so that we can continue to move forward. For the new members, I wanted to, if it's okay, Angelica, I just wanted to briefly give an overview about the equity agenda, because I don't know if everyone in the room knows what we're talking about. But the equity agenda was passed, I want to say in 2019, and it basically is a piece of legislation that was passed by the Common Council to create equity in terms of the city run services within the city of Albany. And so one of the questions that I've seen come up in the literature often is like, okay, so what's the difference between equity and equality, right? And I've heard Mayor Sheehan sort of talk about it a little bit, and she gives an example, whereas, you know, she says, you know, you have 2 different communities. You have like Arbor Hill and Buckingham Pond, and you have, you know, lights in each of those communities that need to be replaced. Equality is the idea that, you know, as one light goes out in one neighborhood, you're also replacing the light in Buckingham Pond at the same time, right? So you give Arbor Hill 1 light, you give Buckingham Pond 1 light. But the idea of equity is taking into consideration that areas like Arbor Hill, et cetera, historically have not had a lot of light bulbs put in to begin with. And so if we go on the principle that we're putting in 1 light in each of the neighborhoods, certain neighborhoods will never get caught up. That's the idea behind it. And so it's going to be, it is an issue in terms of infrastructure, is an issue in terms of, you know, living and people's quality of life. So basically our role is, you know, we haven't really been given a lot of sort of direction on how to get this done, but we're sort of trusting the process right now. But our role is to sort of compare some of the data, you know, for each of the areas of the city of Albany and see, you know, how the city is doing so that we can know whether or not each of the areas' needs are being met. So that's kind of where we're at, and it's a pretty heavy lift, but you know, we're just going to do the best that we can. So it's a subcommittee of 4 of us that are working, you know, as hard as we can on this. It's Tom, myself, Erin, as well as Natisha. So yeah, so this is where we're at right now.
Thank you, Rosa. I really appreciate that. So with that information, I motion that we move to the 5th item on the agenda, which is the executive director report and updates, where it looks like we're talking about budget and appointments.
Yep, so the budget, I was asked, I mean, I know, so actually, sorry, let me back up a little bit. Erin, I know that, and Rosie, I know we had discussed coming up with a budget and making that request, but the budget asked me for an amount before we could have gotten to that. So I put in a request for 2,500. That was put to the budget committee, and now that's kind of living in their world. They're putting together the budget book and everything. And I don't know if they will be putting it in there or not, but I just wanted to at least let the commission know that I had requested 2,500. If we make good use of it next year, I think then we could always ask for the same amount or more. I thought it was a good number for us to start at. It wasn't too much, so that then we would be, because if you ask for too much and then you don't use it all, they tend to kind of give you very little the next time afterwards. So I thought 25 was a good number to work with, that was not asking too much or too little, and we could really grow from there. So when the budget book comes out, we will see if that request was granted, and then the Common Council would have to vote on it.
And you know that budget book's not coming out?
I can't remember when that, because that target date keeps moving for them because of all the premium pay stuff that's going on. Like, the budget has been changing a lot, but last I heard that, like, you know, it's in those final stages of being prepared on the city side, and then it gets presented to the Common Council and they vote on it and everything.
And I think they have a drop dead date of next Friday. So that's my understanding.
Yeah. We're not the budget people.
We're all the budget people.
Yeah. Then the next item there would be the appointments. I am happy to say that in terms of mayoral appointments, those have all been filled. So again, as we work towards quorum and having a fully staffed commission, we're getting there. The Common Council has 2 vacancies open. They have put out a call for applications once, and I think that the response was low, so they're going to have to reissue the call for applications. So if you know anybody who may be interested in serving on this commission, just know that those 2 announcements have gone out and will go out again. And once those 2 are filled, we will not be worrying about vacancies, hopefully for at least a little bit, because our next expiration does not happen until 2022, it looks like. So that puts us in a good spot. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Motion I move to public comment.
I did not receive any public comments emailed to me, and I don't see any in the comment section on the live stream. So I do not believe we have any public comment.
Thank you. I'd like to leave the floor open for any other discussion or anything else that anybody would like to bring up. Or something that. So Kate, I'll be emailing you, and again, if anybody feels like they would like, feel free to just shoot me an email. Soon about the time we can talk about preparing for the event.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. My motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie, did you have something to say?
Oh, no, I just wanted to second that.
All those in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Well, folks, thank you so much. Welcome again to our new members. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and welcome to the family.
Thank you.